But all it does is put you in a further and further pit. Remember, now you in the spell grabbed your attention. Now your soul is actually in hell now, and now your soul is going to go through different levels of hell. So the more that you run, the further you go into a hell. It's like, how about this? If you ever ran in a complete circle, it's like running in a complete circle. You think you're actually escaping it, but you're actually running in a complete circle. You're running in a complete circle. You're not running anywhere. This is the pit of hell. It's like you're running backwards and forward, but you think you're moving forward, but you haven't moved the inch. Because it all has access. It all has access to your mind, your will, your emotion, your intellect, and your imagination. This is the whole point of the dark magic. This is the whole point of the spell being released from the dark magic. This is the whole point of pornography. It's to come into your soul to cast a spell to have you to be far removed from the blessing. Remember, the blessing is that you don't have to do anything to be blessed. Look at anybody who's considered blessed. They don't have to be dishonest. They don't have to be of hatred. They don't have to be jealous. They don't have to be envious. They don't have to kill. They don't have to steal. They don't have to do anything that connects them to evil to be blessed. Only thing they did was just believe or separate it from the evil. The only thing they did was just separate from the evil. Evil is all around us. It's all around us. But God the Father, who's in heaven, who is away from all evil, who knows no evil, who knows only thing, he only knows one power, which is love. Okay? So he made a way, in a loving way, for us to escape all this evil on the earth until our job is up on the earth. He made a way that we don't have to be in turmoil, torment, to toil, to grind the curse, to work the curse, to be up under the curse. Pornography is a spell from the curse. As soon as it gets inside your soul, every time you think you're getting a blessing, it instantly turns into a curse. This is how you get the children that you desired, but how you get the children turns against you. All of a sudden, your children was joyful, but you can't even enjoy them because you're being so tormented, and you've been tormented so much inside your soul. You can't even enjoy the simple things of life. And then when you finally do come to the knowledge of God on the earth, and you finally come to the truth, and you be like, all this time I have been doing something that I didn't have to do. This is what we would call a wasted life. We've seen so many people fall to this, to this curse. They after all the stuff they've been through, they never got a chance to enjoy life. Can you go to heaven? Yeah, if God is your Lord and Savior, and you believe that He sent forth His Son to show that He loved you, if you can believe that in the midst of all this evil, in the midst of whatever that you see, that's not God's doing, that He loves you, and is in the midst of all that we see, and all the killing, all the human trafficking, of all the sickness and diseases, and all the stuff that's going on, can you believe that there's love on the earth? If you can believe that there's love on the earth, in the midst of all, it's like finding a needle in a haystack or a diamond in the rough. In the midst of all this rough that you see, or in all this haste, in the midst of this haystack, you could find a needle, which is to say, you believe that there is love here. In the midst of all this evil on the earth, you can still find love. If you could find love, you found the Father. And more likely, it's not going to be, no, it's not going to be conditional love. It's not going to be, you have to do something to get it. Only thing you have to do is believe that it exists. And it's going to require you to give up fear. Love is going to require you to give up fear, which means you're going to risk of not being loved back in return. That's how powerful love is. Love doesn't have any fear. So you can't be afraid to give your love and you don't get it back. If so, it's not love anymore. That's fear. This is where we have made a gray area. We call this conditional love. We still say it's love, but it's just conditional. It's based upon our control. Love doesn't work that way. Love works in one direction. There is no rules to love besides no fear. There's only one rule to love: no fear. Because no fear is fear. I mean, let me say, forgive me. Fear is of torment. Fear is so full of evil spirits that it destroys you. Once we entertain the thought of fear, we are up under the spell of torments. And they're going to come inside of our soul. That's inside our mind, will, emotion, intellect, and imagination. So instead of you, how about this? Being up under this spell or being up under this cursing. Okay, let's say pornography. You have never watched pornography, or you wanted to be a porn star, but you never did the act. But the thought came that you can make the money and you can have some fun. Okay. Now, okay, you want to have the fun and you want to make the money. Granted, I give you that. Okay. For the person who wants to watch it, they want to please their flesh. They want to go to a higher place inside their soul. I get that. That means your mind, will, emotion, intellect, and imagination going to a different place than where it's at. Okay, let's say on both situations that they're not happy where they're in their actual life. The person want to see another part of them inside their soul. Or the person want to see something more than them working a 9 to 5. Okay? All right, now you have an opportunity to watch the pornography or to be a part of the pornography. Okay, that's the choice, right? But what we don't see past that is the blessing. If we said no to both of those, we can inherit the blessing. The blessing is, okay, how about this? Instead of you working a 9 to 5 or working the sexual acts to get the money, an invention comes to mind that you don't have to do anything. What I mean by that, let's say everything that we see that people are making money from was a thought. Okay? So let's say for the person who created the doorknob, but there was a person who created the door. Okay, so the person who created the doorknob, now that doorknob went from just being how to close and open the door to how to prevent people from coming in and out and so forth. So what if you get an idea that's not been done before, or, excuse me, to reinvent the wheel, but you're able to not allow those tormentable spirits to come inside your soul? It enables you not to take off your clothes where these spirits are destroying your body. Or for the gentleman, your body's not falling apart from you, or you don't have to do something that's possibly make you look over your shoulder. If you do anything of evil to get money, you're going to have to look over your shoulder, which means you're going to have to pay somebody to watch that shoulder. And that means you're going to have to pay somebody to watch that person that's watching over your shoulder, and so forth. Right? Or you're going to have to do something so unforgettable, something so regrettable that's going to put you in a position that it terrifies people. And you have to continue that act over and over, but it dies. Because what make it die is that you realize that it wasn't worth it. Now you're face to face with truth. And when you're face to face with truth, every dark spirit that you have invited in, it's like they are terrified. Okay, you ever seen like a group of people like in one area and a dog comes and all of a sudden everybody scatters and screaming? This is what dark spirits and evil spirits does inside the soul. This is how we get to those points that we have these high sicknesses and high diseases, whatever, because these dark forces, they are running rampant because there's some truth there and they're panicking, they're scared, they're afraid, they don't know what to do. Remember, they are spirits not of good. They're not spirits of love, joy, and peace. They are spirits of torment. And they don't know what to do but to be torment. So they don't know how to behave. They know how to act wild. They know how to act uncontrolled. They don't know how to be controlled when truth comes around, when love comes around, when joy comes around, when peace comes around. They don't know how to behave. So it's like you're losing your mind. And you're so caught up in this, in these effects of this, that you just want out. This is how you get those people that commit suicide. They want out, but you can't get out of this. Because once you leave the body, your soul is still who you are, and it's concealed with all the stuff inside of it. So even when you lose the body, even when you leave the body, you are still entertaining this inside your soul. It's like being inside. It's like you being in a dream, and you having that nightmare repeatedly. Your body is laying there, but you're not inside your body. The dream or the thoughts is inside your soul, and it's inside your soul, and it's tormenting your soul until you're able to get out. Now, the purpose of going back to the body is to rid the body. Is to rid the soul from all this torment. This is why we have the opportunity. This is why grace is considered grace and mercy is considered mercy. And this is when we get a chance to see the love of God, because we wake up to the body to make an actual act in the soul that will lead us towards the blessing. So remember, so saying all that is to say this. Okay, you get presented with this opportunity to do something that seemed to be easy, like the job offering you more money to take on more responsibility. Or for the woman or for the man, if you take off your clothes to entertain this group of people, we'll give you this X amount of money. But they give you the X amount of money one time, not every time you do it. Not every time you do it. So that means you're going to have to do something to game you, to convince you to do this act. So you're going to have to get high, you're going to have to get drunk, you're going to have to do something, you're going to have to invite something dark in to be able to perform this act that they're about to ask you to do. Let's say if I were to go there, they was actually, when you first signed up, whatever, they was asking you to when you first saw the video, this go from the perspective of the person who's viewing it. When you first saw the video, you saw two people actually, it was kind of innocent. It was actually a scene, where you have two parents, whatever, and da 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 da. But that two parents have to become more extreme. It has to become. Remember, the spell itself of pornography, when we first watch it, is one layer, but it takes you to another darker level or a deeper layer of torment. The first layer, it doesn't seem like it's torment because it's in disguise. It's looking like it's good to have a thought. It's good to eat, or it's good to think on, or it's good to watch. But actually that dies off and you go to a lower pit of that first incarnation or invitation of the pit of pornography. So you went from being something that seemed to be innocent to now it's a little bit more disturbed. To watch it again, it's a little bit more disturbed. To watch it again, it's a little bit, and each time you get into it, you get into something, your soul is going to a deeper, darker pit of hell. Okay? Now, once you get to this certain point of the pit of hell, the devil doesn't have to disguise it as to be good anymore to keep you there. You're trapped. You're trapped. Now imagine you being kidnapped and nobody can hear you. This is inside the pit of hell. Now there's no drug now. There's no money. There's no house. There's no fame. There's none of that can actually help you in this situation anymore. You're stuck. So this is what the curse does. Now, from watching pornography, remember what I was saying is the pornography casts a spell. It's a dark magic, which is giving you it's entertaining your soul into a dark place in the pit of hell, or it's taking you into the pit of hell that your soul will be captive to. And once you're inside there, you're not getting out. You're not getting out because it's a very slim chance that you can honestly hear the voice of the Savior. For any person who can get delivered from any addiction, it's normally we have seen people die to these addictions. I have never seen a person die to pornography. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. They what we're looking to hear is that a person was watching it and they died. They left the body. No, they died in ways that torment have got inside their soul. They did things. The choices that they made in their life led them to an untimely death, led them to a premature death, led them to a decision to do this, and it cost them their life. So, but they left the body, but their soul is still dealing with this. It's like when we go to sleep, you leave the body to go into an atmosphere. Now, what if the atmosphere was a nightmare that you constantly keep seeing over and over? This is the self same thing. So the point of me saying this is to tie this is to say, if you're presented with this opportunity to watch the pornography, to continue to watch the pornography, or to even go to as far as I can do what they're doing and get paid for it, that's the cursing. That's the invitation to the curse. If you say no to that, you are walking into the blessing. The blessing is on the other side of that, saying like, I don't have to do any of that, and I don't even have to grind. This is where the what we call it, the invention, the idea, whatever that comes to you, all because you separated to do evil. This is just one avenue of how the blessing can affect your life. I'm saying invention, but there are so many different ways that how God can honestly bless us with sustainable profits, production, without having to surrender ourselves to any evil. There's so many ways to be blessed that it doesn't cost you your soul. There's so many ways to get the things that we actually desire that as soon we get it, it doesn't get stolen, it doesn't get taken, nothing bad happens. There's so many ways that God has in store for all his creation, that everybody can have their equal share without being jealous or envious of the next person. So we have this invitation to watch the pornography, to continue to watch the pornography, or even go as far as I can do what they're doing. That's the invitation to the curse. That's the invitation of the dark magic. The dark magic is giving you the thought so far to say, okay, you can eat this, you can meditate on this, you can think about this, you can possibly even do this. And once the spell is inside, the torments come, the evil spirits come in, and they're going to come in to destroy the body. They're not going to start off that way. It depends who you are. If God knew, when God had a purpose for your life, and you was designed to carry out his will, to do something that's going to help people, whatever, they're trying to prevent you from doing it. Remember, they're trying to prevent you from going into the blessing. Remember, there's over a trillion ways for God to bless every person on this earth, where they don't have to toil, they don't have to be in turmoil, they don't have to be in torment to honestly get the desires of their heart. You don't have to do anything of evil. Like I said, I'm just giving one avenue of an invention that can come to you, and you can create something that you don't have to. You actually enjoy doing what you do. You enjoy it so much that you have love, joy, and peace. You do it so much. I mean, you have. That's the blessing. You are so blessed by this that it never looks at that you're working a day in your life, because you're not toiling, you're not grinding, you're not in turmoil, you're not in torment, you're not in misery. You actually have peace, love, and joy. So it's blessed because you're not actually working. The only time we work is when we're full of turmoil, is when we're full of torment, is when we toil, when we grind. That's when it's work, because we're serving the curse. And this is what the spirit of pornography wants to inhabit and wants to actually cast a spell over souls. For the person who's watching it, for the person who's been watching it, for the person who's watching it, for the person who have never watched it, for the person who actually wanted to do the act that they're seeing. This is the sole purpose of it, is to keep you from the blessing. The blessing is designed is to honestly to keep your soul in torment. That no matter what you do, you never have a moment's rest. You never have any joy, and you never see any love. All you're going to see is hate. All you're going to see is grind, and all you're going to see is pain. No matter what you do. All right, my people of faith, you are the blessed. Let's be the blessing. Let's keep walking.